Bicycle Thieves premiered in 1948, a time in which Italy was still devastated and recovering from fascism. The damages World War II brought created deep wounds within the country. Between 1948 and 1952, Italy had received monetary aid through the U.S. Marshall Plan to support the reconstruction of infrastructures that were destroyed in the war. In 1948, the Christian Democratic Party had won with 49% of the popular vote, equating to 13 million votes. It was the party's responsibility to fix issues concerning industrial organization and the public educative and administrative systems. Vittorio De Sica utilized the camera to create the visual context while utilizing the plot to subtly criticize Italian law and politics. The Italian economical flaws were highlighted within the normalcy of Bruno's child labor and Antonio's unemployment. The protagonist lost his optimism and morals as his economic status became uncertain. De Sica chose non-professional actors Lamberto Maggiorani and Enzio Staioloa to best captivate this socio-economical setting. De Sica's film itself follows a father-son dynamic within this economic time period. The protagonist, Antonio, accepts a job with joy after struggling with unemployment. However, on his first day, his bicycle is stolen by a stranger. Owning the bicycle itself is a condition for Antonio's employment. Representative of Italian attitudes towards institutions, Antonio quickly realizes the police will be of no real assistance.
Grazie, buongiorno. Allora mi devo arrangiare da me. Va bene così. L'hai fatta la denuncia? Va bene così. Buonasera.
After his dissolution with the police, he decides to take matters into his own hands and makes it his mission to find the bicycle. Antonio's son Bruno serves as his aide. As the film develops, Vittorio De Sica emphasizes their father-son cause and effect emotional dynamic through camera techniques. The film contains multiple opening wide shots of the duo. During these scenes, Bruno is continuously watching and mimicking Antonio. Antonio's actions have a direct developmental effect on Bruno's forming identity. This type of angle emphasizes to the audience the difference in age and power dynamic through their obvious size difference. The following scenes are key examples of this cause and effect emotional dynamic between the two. At some point, Antonio sees the thief conversing with an older man. Antonio is unable to catch the thief again. Instead, he follows the old man demanding answers. Eventually, the old man manages to escape from Antonio. Feeling helpless, Antonio externalizes his frustration onto his son. The scene opens in a wide shot, allowing the audience to see once again the power dynamic due to their size difference, as well as the expressions of both characters for the interaction to come. Bruno is observing Antonio for the next course of action, while Antonio's expression grows with anger. The camera shifts back to a close-up of Bruno, who innocently asks his father why he let the thief go. Feeling inadequate, Antonio releases his frustrations onto his son. The camera changes to close-ups and switches back and forth between the characters as Antonio beats Bruno. The camera stays on Bruno for a second, showing his obvious confusion and sadness. Then the camera returns to Antonio, who realizes his mistake and grows shameful. The scene returns to a wide shot as they continue walking. The wide shot changes to a diagonal point of view, showing the emotional distance created between the two. The duo separates as Antonio tells Bruno to wait for him by the bridge. Antonio notices a commotion caused for a drowning child, and he begins to panic as he searches for Bruno. However, he realizes the drowning child is not Bruno, and the camera shifts to Antonio, who becomes relieved with this discovery. The audience sees Bruno waiting at the top of the stairs from Antonio's point of view. Bruno appears tiny, showing the audience the vulnerability of Bruno and Antonio's desire to protect him. In a slowly tilted wide shot, Antonio begins to run in glee towards his desire. Once they find each other, Antonio attempts to win back Bruno with the promise of a pizza, which in turn makes Bruno happy as his father returns to a protective role. The camera then changes from close-ups between the two characters to a wide shot of both of them, signifying the return of their unison. After their falling out, Antonio takes Bruno to a restaurant. As their conversation continues, Jessica switches the point of view back and forth between the two characters. Antonio observes Bruno becoming distracted from his meal by a wealthy family's lavish multiple-course spread. Antonio quickly assesses the situation and sees that Bruno wishes he too could enjoy as many options. However, because Antonio cannot provide this, he says to Bruno,
Per mangiare come quelli lì poco poco bisognerebbe guadagnare 1 milione al mese.
to which the audience observes Bruno being concerned for money as he immediately stops eating. Antonio realizes the burden he just implemented on his son and tells him to continue eating. The audience can see Antonio's face quickly turn from cheerful to shameful.
E di che stavamo a posto. Fate conto che con gli straordinari
Towards the end of the film, Antonio becomes defeated and contemplates becoming a thief himself. Once again, the camera is shifting point of view between the two main characters to show the duality in their interpersonal relationship. The scene is shot from a wide angle that slowly zooms into Antonio's face, emphasizing the buildup of his distress in trying to make a decision. The camera shifts to Bruno, who seems hopeful. Seeing his son, Antonio ultimately decides to steal the bicycle. Antonio is quickly caught. The camera opens a wide scene in Bruno's point of view. He is watching his father flee. Afraid his father is in danger, Bruno immediately takes flight after him. Once Antonio is caught, he is berated by a crowd. The camera shifts back and forth between the two characters to show Bruno's fear and Antonio's shame for not being able to be a better father. After the entire debacle, the camera angle focuses on Bruno, then shifts slowly up towards Antonio, representing how Bruno looks up to his father. However, he realizes how upset Antonio is. Bruno stops crying, as if he's trying to provide a strong face to support his father. To show the tension, the camera continuously switches up and down between the two. Antonio continues crying because he doesn't feel strong enough for his son, causing Bruno to appear anxious over his effectiveness in supporting his father. As he realizes his father is still upset, Bruno begins to hyperventilate and fights back his tears due to his inability to help. The executed camera techniques in Bicycle Thief allow the audience to fully captivate the duality of the cause and effect emotional interpersonal relationship between these two characters.